Hey everybody, it's Andy here at Game One Tolio, and we are back for another Vintage League. And we are playing Mono White today. Mono White Initiative. And this is a deck that I actually saw on Phil Gallagher's Twitter page. Phil is a legacy aficionado, and I really like the deck list. I mean, for those of you that follow Vintage, Mono White has been around for quite some time, championed by a player by the name of Grim. And this is a little bit of a hybrid of what Grim has done and what Phil has done. And I decided to load it up today and take it for a spin. Typically, Mono White is not my style of deck, but I think Initiative is a really powerful card, and it's allowing me to play Archon of Emeria, which is a card that I have a sweet spot for, as well as cards like Stoneforge Mystic, very powerful, will Cauldron Complete, and all sorts of great removal and Solitude, Palace, Jailer, in addition to two main deck swords, two on the board. Where I really looked at Grim's list is what was Grim playing in his sideboard. And of course, I know that Grim audibles towards Kataki, or excuse me, Lurus, and so obviously you look at my sideboard and they're all two casting cost spells, but I think they're all very reasonable cards to be playing in Vintage right now. So obviously the mana base is probably the shakiest part of this deck. I'm really not sure how I feel about Ancient Tombs in the deck, but considering that we are running a whole bunch of 3 drops and 4 drops, God forbid, 5 drops over here, I think that running the Ancient Tomb is a very reasonable thing to be doing. So that said, I mean, I can't honestly tell you how good this deck's going to be, but let's take it for a spin and see how we do today. Okay, guys, here we are for round 1, and we are playing Mono White today. Mono White Initiative. And we've got the on-color Mox. Wow. Did we win the die roll? We did not. Okay, we're seeing the Lurus. So my experience with the initiatives is the Caves of Chaos adventure, and of course I really like the card and it does win games, but it's a dangerous card as well because when you lose the initiative, sometimes it's hard to take it back. And like all the bizarre decks out there and things like that, like they can just take the initiative and you can lose the game that way. So I think it's a little bit of a risk playing it, but let's see. So this is likely the Jeskai Breach deck that we're seeing. Looks like a nice strong Ragavan start here, likely from them. That or Time Walk is my guess. Nothing? Okay. So Ancestral. No. Okay. So we're going to play out our Mox. Recall. Very weird timing from my opponent there. Right? That's just better to play, is not? I think so. Force check. And it resolves. Okay. Wow. Great. Not easy to kill this either. Let's get a land. Okay. Nice. I haven't read the card, obviously. We have a nice follow up here. Time Walk, okay. Now my opponent's got lots of Moxes here. I guess they did Ancestral, so not unreasonable. But I'm hoping they can't deploy a Dreadhorde here. Dreadhorde's pretty rough on me. Okay, that's good. Okay. Well, they don't have Tinker. That I do know. Swords to Plowshares. Okay. They're going to Swords me and then Ragavan. That's really good if they have it. Yep. I cannot stop that. Wasteland. Okay. Yep. They got a Dreadhorde. That's pretty scary. I think problem for me is do they have a Force of Will here? We're going to have to go down the Lost Well. I think I like the Spirit. No, I can't deploy everything here. I feel like, I mean, it's got to be the Plume Adventurer, right? It stops the Dreadhorde. I guess they have swords. I can't stop the swords. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do it. Force check. Nope. Okay. So what is our shirt? Goad target creature. Needed to look goad up there. And stash. I guess create a treasure token. Not thrilled about that, but the good news is here, I mean, yes, my opponent can Ancestral, but their creature dies. If they Swords to Plowshares in, they get the initiative back. It's true. But next turn, we are threatening a Palace Jailer. This is pretty powerful. I can see why this is very popular. 3 mana, it's got a lot of text on it. So this is likely a Swords is my guess. Yep. Trying to set up the Ancestral next turn. But hopefully they have not found a Force of Will, and we're going to be able to Palace Jailer. What are we going to get to do? Create a 4/1. Okay, that's pretty good. I like the Catacombs creature here. So they have taken their own initiative. Do they have a basic? I don't think this deck does run a basic. They're going to waste me? That's great if they do, because it means they don't have Force of Will hard cast anyways. I just suspect they'll bring Lurrus to hand here. No? Bit scary. Are they just digging here? That's bad for me if they are. Especially because they can leave their Ancestral. Yeah, that's bad news. It could mean that they have a Force of Will here in their hand now. And us losing our Jailer is like pretty bad. We've lost the initiative. Which means that this thing, they could have done Time Walk next turn as well. But let's see. If I can get rid of it, I think we have a good shot. But if they found a Force, it's bad for us. They've already played a land. Let us see what we can do here. Cauldron Complete is not ideal. I mean, we just have to jam the Jailer. There's no choice about it. We've got to get this Dreadhorde off the table here immediately. So this is big game for us. We got the Monarch. Seasoned Dungeoneer is nice. They have the initiative, so they can scry too. Getting rid of that Dreadhorde was really big game. And if they leave us alone here, we're going to be able to steal the initiative back. Which is pretty good. Like, I'm going to get the 4/1 creatures where I'm going to focus my energies. A Dashed Ragavan is a card that bothers me here a bit. Gosh, okay. I can live with that. Yep, Dash Ragavan. So we'll block that. Given an opportunity anyways. Yeah, okay. And it comes. Now, the question is am I going to be able to resolve a spell here? That's my big question. Oh, right into Lurrus. Nice. Hopefully they can't get that Ragavan in right now. I think they've played a land. They can. Oh, I guess they can play Lotus. Okay, pretty good. I mean, you know, what's a guy to say? I have not seen a force of will here from my opponent, so we have to really hope this resolves. It's kind of, we're getting quite sketchy here. Well, I've got double Spirit of the Labyrinth here. I think it's just better to play double Spirit, right? This cannot get haste. Like, Spirit's really good against their deck. So they found a force of will. Okay. I would love to find a, what's it called, Solitude here. Why didn't I draw a card? Oh, so I've got a Nombo with the Monarch. That's not good, is it? I didn't realize that. So that's a deck building error on my part. I mean, I only have two cards in my deck that give me the Monarch. Maybe the benefit outweighs the risk. I don't know, but so they can goad me. They're going for, okay, they are goading it. Okay. Just going to make me attack into the Ragavan. Okay. That means I don't readily have an answer to it. Okay, I cast Ragavan from the yard. I'd really like to get this initiative back from them. Will they attack in? No. Lurrus is just so valuable to them. Okay. Well, I mean, let's get it going, right? My opponent's got so much land. Oops. Okay, that's great. We got the initiative back. That's really nice because they're forcing me to attack in here, and I unfortunately have to trade. Where you attack? Target attacking cleric, rogue. What is this? It's a spirit. I don't even know what's going on here. Whenever you attack, it explores. Nice. Put on top. I want that now. All right. That was sweet. So yeah, they got rid of my spirit here, but we're gonna have another one, and we got to draw a card. Sweet. Solitude. Oh, of course I knew it was a spirit. All right, all right. We're doing not bad here. God, that seasoned Dungeoneer is really good. And we are inching closer to Cauldra here, guys. Of note. So I'm presuming my opponent's going to bobble here. Well, I guess that's contingent on how much they have in their hand. Okay, they've decided to play the Ragavan. They really want to take over the Monarch here, is my guess. Okay, I think we complete a dungeon. Wow. Okay, this is going to be sweet, guys. Palace Jailer. That was awesome. I feel like this is a little bit of an underwhelming hand. It's got some tools that I like. I'm going to try it out for science. I feel like these mono white decks, you want to get going a little bit faster than what we have here, but if we get into trouble, we've got Solitude to clean up the mess. Okay, that's a bit unfortunate, but right into an Ancestral. Yep. Not much I can do about that. Replenish themselves back up to 6. Pretty good start for my opponent. Well, better than pretty good. I would say that's excellent. We really are looking for a Mox off the top here. I would settle for an Ancient Tomb. Okay, that's fantastic. What that does is it sets us up for next turn. And of course, we have a really strong play here on turn 1, if it resolves. They have Force of Will. Okay, they don't like the card draw. I'm okay with that. It sets us up next turn. We can't be wastelanded. Strip mine is obviously a little bit sucky, but the question is, if they spur out a Ragavan here, do we answer it? Okay, they've just cast it, and I think that's better for me. Pull Lurrus to hand. Yep, all right. This time we have an answer to Lurrus, which is nice. Excuse me, guys. I think I'm going to cast the Archon here. I think Archon's a really powerful card against this type of a deck that's trying to string multiple spells together per turn. They have another Force of Will. Okay. I might want to just Solitude right now. I like all of these cards is the problem. Probably, actually, the reason I did this main phase is I did not want my opponent to have a hard cast Force of Will up. The problem with this is if they have another Ragavan in hand, it's pretty bad for me. Well, not necessarily, but I mean, I don't want that. I could have avoided that situation, and they have used 2 Force of Wills already, so I think the probability of that is not great. Yeah. So they get a Bauble here, which is pretty good. I can deal with Lurrus, which I may do if I find another land. An Ancient Tomb here I can just hard cast. So they're going to draw another 2 cards here. Hard casting Ragavan. Shattering Spree. That was a really good one, actually. All right, we need some help here. I guess a land off the top is what I'm looking for. Spirit is a little late to the party, but it's still pretty good. I don't really want to pitch Solitude here. Like, the Plume Adventurer is just so good, and my deck is just chock full of white cards. If there's a way that I can survive this turn somehow, like, I don't mind them gaining 3 life here. So they do have removal for my Spirit by the looks of it. Well, maybe not. They have to draw the card regardless. I don't think they want to attack in here. So they do get to draw the card, unfortunately. Well, they're gonna hard counter it. Wow, love it. I think I am going to take this opportunity to just get rid of Lurrus here. There's no point in letting them draw cards here. I'm going to gamble they don't have a Lurrus. We can F6 this time. Like, Spirit's a powerful card against them. Dreadhorde. Okay. That was a nice draw. I'm going to get a Cauldron here. Wow, I love it. All right, your play. They do have an Ancestral in their yard. They can't use it. Spree doesn't do anything right now. So if they don't have anything for... I mean, they're also torn between having to kill a Stoneforge and the Spirit if they have it, because this Cauldron is a tough cookie. Now they do run swords. A Breach, okay. We could die to the Breach kill here. See if they have the Brain Freeze. They have just enough to do it. I guess let's see what they hit. They have a they could get into a deterministic kill here if they hit Lotus. Currently, they will be storming for 3, which is not too bad. Now, they could have Lotus in hand, but I don't think that would be the case. It's pretty low prevalence. I will say I've been having fun with this deck, though. It's always neat to cast creatures you've never cast before, and I think the initiative is a fun thing. Yeah, increasing their storm, that makes sense. No, they do 4. So we got to cross our fingers here. Well, I guess they just do it again. That makes sense too. Opponent is playing this very well. All right, let's see. Time of trial, guys. Nothing. Oh, they hit a Mox Jet. Okay, but that doesn't do it. Okay, one more. All right, I don't think they can do it. They can bring a Bauble back a whole bunch of times, but they can only draw so many cards. They hit a Swords, but they can't use the Swords. So that's good news for us. And like they can bobble a whole bunch of times, but as long as the Spirit of the Labyrinth remains unplayed, they will only draw 1 card off their Breach. And they've already used the bobble a number of times, so it really doesn't offer them much. Where it would be bad is if they haven't played a land and they have a land in hand. But I believe they have played one. Yep. I really like the deck my opponent's playing. It's been doing extremely well in Vintage over the last number of weeks. There's their Mox. And they could just keep the Bobble in play for a later time, I guess, but... All right, like we survived, right? See, there's 2 triggers. They only get 1 card, though. Archon. Geez, Archon would be nice there, but can't actually do that. So we're going to get our creature in here. And we're going to get in with our Cauldron. Now, what is awkward here is that my opponent is going to be able to Swords me. But we've got to start getting in. Like, just nothing I can do about it. We got to start trying to win. I will block the Spirit given the opportunity. Or block the Dread Horde. I think they have to go after my Cauldra. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to beat my Cauldra otherwise. Would have loved the swords off the top, I guess, but I wouldn't have cast the swords probably. Maybe I would have. They're just going to attack in here. I'm gambling that they're going to go after my Cauldra here. They're going after the swords for sure. Oh, they did go after my Spirit. Okay. They are not concerned. Cauldre's actually not at its best in this matchup because of the presence of swords and prismatic ending in their deck, but something to think about. So we sideboard next turn. Another breach. Okay, that's a deterministic kill. I am going to make my opponent do it because, as you'll note the times, guys, I have 16 minutes on my clock and my opponent has 5 minutes. They've been playing very, very slowly, and as a result of that, I am going to make them go through the motions here because the clock is going to play into my favor in game 3. But they do have a kill here. And of course, there's a lot of motions when you play the Jeskai Breach deck. So I have played it a fair amount in my leisurely time, and there's a lot of actions that need to be taken, so it's much more time consuming of a deck than what I'm currently playing. And the Breach combo on Magic Online is not fast. So we maybe can suck another 60 seconds out of our opponent if we're lucky. Maybe more. I do apologize to the viewers here. I know this is not fun to watch, but it's actually been a really great match. It's just I know this is tedious to watch my opponent go through. Yeah, they're targeting me. All on me. I don't think I have much to hide from my opponent. I mean, they can see my deck here. I much prefer the time that's being taken here. I will not show them the remainder of my deck here. I'm just making them go through the motions here. So that killed almost 2.5 minutes of my opponent's clock. I'm going to show them the rest of my deck. I don't think it matters. They know what we're doing. Maybe buy me an extra 10, 15 seconds. You see. Okay, so I'm just looking to buy time here. I think I want Thalia on the play. Probably don't need the extra swords here. Likely can get rid of the jailer. Let's try something like this. Luris. How do I feel about this hand here? I think it's fine. Archon's going to be really strong, and so is Thalia against my opponent, so they're going to need to find answers to those. It's a good start, Mox. Wow. Okay. The sad thing for me is that I think they have a wasteland here, but it is what it is. We're going to get our Thalia going here. Thalia is a strong card against them. Probably have a swords is my guess, but yep. Okay. Yep. That's a little bit unfortunate. I am worried about my land situation here, but I don't think they have a blue source. Oh, I guess they do. Nice. This is a strong card to match up. They got Force of Will for that one. Okay. Interesting they didn't pull Lyris back to their hand there. They just kept 3 mana open for no reason. I.e., yeah. I hope they don't get my land here with a wasteland, but Mox Jet. Mox Jet is good. Okay, that is not a wasteland. Do they pull Lyris now? They have 2 cards in hand. Yep. I don't think they're going to have a daze here. I don't think I'm going to expose the Krakus here. And the reason is that I guess I could have because the Wasteland can't get me with the Archon. It's fine, though. My opponent's down to 25 seconds, so it's irrelevant at this stage in the game. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you hanging out. This was a real marathon first game for this deck. But we did get there, and it would have been interesting to see if my opponent had a little bit more time, how this would have worked out. But I do like our position here right now. I'm sure my opponent is not playing optimally, but that is the world we're living in. I guess I will cast another Archon here. Make that my play, and we're going to send Lyris Pack in here. And we're going to see you round 2, guys. Okay, guys, here we are for round 2 of our Vintage League. And we are playing Mono White Initiative today. So let's see how we do. We did win the die roll. This hand's a little bit underwhelming, but I think it's fine. I mean, what more are we going to ask for, right? We got a quick swords, and we can go into a plume adventure here. Obviously, it's a little bit of a tell that we're playing a planes and passing. My opponent, in my experience, I haven't seen them around Vintage probably much in the last year or so. My opponent is more of a control player. Probably mulliganing very aggressively, thinking that I am on Bazaar or they are on Bazaar, one or the other. And they're going to be either relieved or very disappointed that I played a Plains, one or the other. But we'll take it. Let's see what they got. Is likely Time Walk? No. Okay. They got an Ancestral. I think I'm going to play the Plumed Adventurer here. I mean, I guess there's a lot of different choices that we have here. Like, Thalia is pretty powerful. But Plumed Adventurer sets me up very nicely next turn to be able to go and do a double spell. Like Stoneforge Thalia, Thalia Swords, whatever it is we need to do. This is pretty powerful here. Brainstorm, okay. Likely looking for a Force of Will. Or removal for that matter. Let's see if it resolves. It does resolve. Okay, I mean, that's good news for us. It fixes our mana. And we got an initiative guy on the table. Opponent protecting their mana. Okay, they did not like what was happening there. So my opponent most recently has been on Oath of Druids. I think I can I take out my Stoneforge package here? What does that leave me with? Like, I probably don't need all these swords, but let me just bring in a couple random traps. Let's try this out, guys. I have no idea if this is good, but we're going to try it out. I don't even know if my opponent is on Oath, but don't think this is a hand that I can keep. I think if I had, like, that's much, much nicer. Okay. I guess my question is, do my opponent have Wastelands in their deck? I suspect they probably don't. I think I'm going to dump the Spirit here. Let's try this. We have a turn 1 Containment Priest, if need be, if it is Oath and they resolve one. If not, we have a turn 1 Archon or Thalia, depending on what my opponent is playing. Interesting. Okay, this is not what I expected here. Doomsday. Wow. Insane. Well, we have 2 good cards against Doomsday in Archon and Thalia. Neither likely enough to be impactful enough to win for me, but what we could do is we could play Archon. It's tough to know because I really would love to set up the Wasteland here, but yeah, there's not much we can do. I mean, both lines are probably very equally good. As long as I don't have a Wasteland. I guess the plus side of doing the Thalia over the Archon is it cannot be dazed. That's not really what we're looking for here. Going to play the Ancient Tomb mode here. I don't know. It's a tough call, guys. I think if they have the Wasteland, there's just not much we can do about it. Okay, it does resolve. Next turn we can, if they don't have a land in hand, they do. Ancestral, okay. So they can't, we actually might win here, funny enough. I guess the question, if this Archon resolves, and it's going to, because what's going to happen is they're going to draw their card, Yeah. So the Archon is going to resolve here. And then I wasteland them off of this. That means they have to play Lotus in order to, or another land, I guess. If they have another land in hand, I guess they can win. But the land comes into play tapped. Yeah, I was going to say, my opponent there can't beat the two of those. Both very good cards against Doomsday. Nice, clean win for us there. That one was over in around 3 minutes for us versus the one that went the full 25 last round. If you guys enjoyed the video, I definitely guessed wrong on what my opponent was playing there. I did not expect Doomsday, but I mean that's what happens when you look at MTG Goldfish, right? Anyways, we'll see you next round, guys. Okay, guys, here we are for round 3 of our Vintage League. Let's see what we got. Yeah, pretty nice, huh? We'll take that. Turn 1 Thalia is where I'm at. Turn 2 White Plume, and then turn 3 Jailer, maybe? Okay, they Force of Willed us. Pitching a Force, okay. That does not make me that happy. I really liked our turn 1 Thalia. Okay, got an Ancestral. Not happy about that either. Hopefully we don't have to play out our Force of Will. Wow. Okay. Okay, I guess they want to force our White Plume here. I'd like this to resolve because I would love to get the initiative here. My opponent may not feel threatened by this. This is not a card that you've seen in Vintage before. Okay, Time Twister. Okay. So this is a Hull Breacher deck with all likelihood. We do have an answer to Hull Breacher. Hopefully there's not a Tinker. Tinker would be unfortunate. Narset. Okay. Cannot stop Narset. Lotus. Yucky. Okay. Cannot get the Season Dungeoneer in play. This is our only line here. Not liking my chances where we're sitting right now. The Narset was a really nice one for them because it's going to get them two good looks at finding a Tinker here, but can't have it all. Hopefully they miss here. Ponder, okay. I can live with a Ponder. It is another good look for a Tinker here, but not as deep. Chooses to shuffle, okay. All right, we're still alive here, guys. We're going to forge for sure. Sweet. Okay, they have Hardcast Force up here, so I'm just going to wasteland this while I have an opportunity. I think there's incentive to doing this here now. They have another Force of Will. Okay, mental misstep. Yep, seems reasonable. I will attack Narset on the table here. I think it's worth getting rid of this card just because of the potential of getting wheeled. Pretty sweet. Ragavan Insurance. I like that. There's a top. Okay. Okay. I will just cast the Palace Jailer likely next turn unless I find something more appealing off the top, like an Archon. But I like the idea of drawing cards with the Palace Jailer. And the White Plume is going to allow me to untap. I'm going to trap my opponent next turn. We're going to trap for sure. It's pretty sweet. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're going to attack, right? I don't have a problem with paying a couple life here. Prefer to just hold up a white source in case I draw like a swords or something off the top. And here we go. There's the Archon. Huh, that's a pretty nice feature, having the untap. Uh-oh. This looks like a tinker here. Wonder if they'll get a Sphinx. Are they just going straight for the Citadel? I mean, Citadel top is powerful, but they don't have a ton of life to work with. They went for the Citadel. Okay. Yep. I would imagine it'd be hard to win with 6 life with a Citadel, but who knows? Probably one of the worst things I could see off the top would be like a Yogg-Will. They did find their comp. Oh, that would be awful for me if they were able to set that up. Time walk. Damn. 1 life. Okay. Nope, not on top here. Feeling a little tentative here. Okay, nice win for us there. So we are playing against the combos here. I can see Stony Silence being pretty good in this matchup. Don't think I want the Stoneforge package here. Seems like an easy one that could come out. Do I want Containment Priest is my question. Containment Priest seems pretty reasonable. Probably can cut some swords. I do have Solitudes and Jailer in my deck. Do I want Containment Priest is my question. Probably don't need Seasoned Dungeoneer. The Containment Priest really only stops a Sphinx, though. Yeah, I don't think that's very good. I guess where it is good is if they have like a Blightsteel. Maybe I can bring in a couple. Maybe it's just totally fine. Maybe it's just fine. Let's try something like this out. Yep, love this hand. Got a little bit of insulation in the turn. The Mindbreak Trap, if they decide to go off right now and into a turn 1 Spirit of Labyrinth likely. Okay, no play. think I'm going to do an Archon here. Archon seems very good against what they're doing. Force, okay. Next turn, we can potentially Labyrinth and cast Containment Priest. We'd have to main phase the Priest, but I think that's okay. Okay. Mindbreak Trap's still live, despite I think it's somewhat diminished its likelihood of working. My opponent only has 3 cards in hand here. But could be good. Okay, well that increased their chances there. Oh, no land, eh? Opponent thinking long and hard about this one. They're not crazy about it. I'd be thrilled if they force this. I mean, they have to realize that this is the bait spell. Not to say that Containment Priest isn't good for them, but if they do go and get a Blightsteel Colossus, the truth of the matter is that I have the answer for the Blightsteel. Both pretty good hate bears here. Okay, they did get the bait. Once again, Mindbreak Trap could be live here. And Mana Crypt doing work for us. But we are starting to become a little bit vulnerable here. So they do have the Tinker, which is unfortunate. But if they go for a Blightsteel here... Okay, they went for the Citadel. They can't go for Blightsteel because of the presence of Containment Priest. I mean, they could. It just wouldn't work. So we're in a pretty bad spot here. We got lots of life to work with this time. Do like that. What are the chances they have a Hull Breacher here? Probably not great. This is strong. This resolves. It does. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a follow-up, but that's all right. Mindbreak Trap, as long as the Citadel is live, makes it live for us. And my opponent is getting lower on life. Okay. Lotus does not work. I'm going to try and stop it here. I don't want that in play. We can get like even a Saga is enough to slow me down here. Okay, that's helpful. Let's get a Jailer into play. Yep. They haven't quite passed turn yet. Okay. And let's get going. They might just let this resolve. It doesn't do much. It draws me cards, which is not insignificant, but... Nice. My opponent kind of needs to win here, otherwise the Citadel is not going to look well for them. A Braid, okay. That is fine. Lightning Bolt, okay. Okay. I still have the Monarch, which is nice, and I have a good play here. Get a plains, and I'll cast a second one. And I do, as long as I get to untap, I do win next turn. Because I have the trap. So my opponent has 5 life to play with, and they have to win through a Stony Silence. Time Twister. Okay, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. Puts them to 2 life. Next turn, Kataki is really going to cause them problems. I mean, they're dead next turn. They have to win here. And I mean, that was a good start, the wheel. Of course, it was going to be challenging for them to not be able to do all the crazy things their deck does when all their fast mana is shut off. And being at 2 life, the Citadel is not all that functional. But there you have it, guys. 3-0 with this deck. Pretty cool. We'll see you next round. Okay, guys, here we are for round 4 of our Vintage League, and we are playing Mono White Initiative today. The deck's been feeling pretty good so far. We are on the play. I think this is pretty good. A turn 1 Spirit of the Labyrinth, turn 2 Archon. I like it. Obviously, the Culture Complete is a mulligan, but there's so many powerful turn 1 plays in this deck. I think this is a reasonable start. And obviously, it's awkward if we get Wastelanded or whatever. But it is what it is. Force of Vigor can blow this hand up pretty bad, too, because Labyrinth is an enchantment. Okay, Doomsday. All right, well, that's a pretty powerful start for us, because they can't cantrip. It means they don't have a Wasteland. And if this Archon resolves, it's even better. I'm going to play with my Mox here. And I'm going to attack. Actually, I'm going to play around Daze here. There's no reason not to. I'd obviously not like to expose the Wasteland and see if I can trick them, but it's better to play around Daze against these decks. Okay, really nice clean win against Doomsday. I do think Stony Silence is a consideration here. I don't know how many I want, but it is a powerful card against what they're doing. I think Swords can go. Obviously, they have Murktide, but I do have tools to fight Murktide. Like, our deck is not overly well set up to combat Doomsday, but we've got some tools. We've got some tools. Like, we've got the Solitudes. It's obviously not ideal. We need to take out 2 cards. Probably can take out a Batter Skull. We just need the Cauldron here. Maybe cut a Solitude. I think this is probably fine. We did defeat Doomsday earlier. I think this hand is fine. It's a little bit slow. Of note, I didn't really think about it, but Solitude also can hit the Oracle on the stack, which is something. Love a Mox off the top, or a Lotus would be really nice for us. Despite we have a lot of hate bears in our deck here, I don't feel favored against Doomsday. Like, if they have a decent hand, it's almost impossible for us to win on the draw. On the play, obviously, We can muck them up pretty good like we did game one. They did not shuffle. Opponent's probably thrilled to see this happen. So we've got a lot of options turn two here. Do they go for it here? Ancestral's a nice one. Boy. I mean, if we get done tap, we do have some tools, but of course we could just die right here, and they are going for it. Gush does kill me, but I mean, we do have the Solitude, and that is something. If they stack it wrong, there's a chance that that can mess them up enough that we can maybe win somehow. I haven't thought about it that deeply as to what we're going to do next turn post Doomsday. It's bad. I know that much. It's bad. I feel like if they pass turn here, Archon is likely my best bet. Archon into Spirit. Like, Spirit of the Labyrinth is really strong here as well. Because how are they going to, if they're not drawing? Yeah, maybe Spirit of the Labyrinth is just a better play than Archon here. If they pass turn, we get to play around days this way. They probably have to pass turn back then. It deals more damage to my opponent. And if we draw a Plains the following turn, we have Thalia into, or Stony into Thalia, which is pretty good. Yeah, we got a chance. Let's see. I mean, we're probably in truth dead right here, but let's see. They have played their land for the turn. So it's not Gush. They are passing. Okay. Let's see how lucky we can get here. Woohoo! Guess I bait with this. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Spirit. Allows me to play around days. My opponent is at 8. Because of the Chalice, they definitely were not wanting to get their Lotus counted for fear here. Okay, they did actually have another card draw. Okay, that's pretty good for them. Could they have not just killed me? If they had that, why didn't they go for a Gush kill? So they're going to Ancestral themselves here and try and win. All right, they Ancestral now. But they can't actually Ancestral me now. I feel like I have to Archon here. Like, Thalia is pretty nice, though. So is Stony. Let's get in for a couple damage here. I'm going to do Archon. I just think Archon is the highest relevance play here. If they have another Daze, I mean, it sucks for me, but it's still, we still have a chance. Okay, well, I drew a card. And now we have, they play their spell to win, and we ship it back. They will still have a card left in their library. This does not win. They cannot respond. All right, guys. Another nice win for us against Doomsday. Loving it. All right, we're going to see you for a trophy match. Hey, everybody. Here we are, round 5 of our Vintage League. We're playing Mono White Initiative today. We did not win the die roll this time. This hand is not very good. I think I can just do better. Obviously, this hand does not have a turn 1 play in it, but I am going to keep this one. I think I'm going to put the Aganjo away. Actually, you know what? Maybe I have to put one of the Plume Adventures away. I think that would be a selfish gamble. I know I'm on the draw here, but if there's a world where I have to strip mine and we get wastelanded or something like that, like it's not ideal for us. So I just don't think keeping a turn 1 Thalia is just enough for us. And I realize we were on the draw there too, and we might be able to draw out of that, but I don't know. Felt bad. Felt like a mulligan already. I'm going to get rid of this Saga here. Next turn, hopefully we draw Mox, and if we don't, we can sit back on Swords to Plowshares. Preordain resolves. I can't do anything about it. Really hoping for a Mox or a Lotus off the top would be just really sweet. Is that a lot to ask for, guys? One top, one bottom. Okay. It shouldn't be. Gonna play the Krakus here. In case they dash a Ragavan, we have that. Obviously, this is vulnerable to Wasteland, but most people that are playing blue do not have the luxury of playing Wasteland and Urza Saga in the same deck. So there's the red. Okay, I cannot stop a recall, unfortunately. Recall was a bad one for us. Demonic Tutor. Yep, resolves. Can't do anything about it. So that is very, very, very bad for us. That is probably a Tinker going into their hand. And I mean, we just have to slam a Spirit here. I don't have an option. Just my opponent very likely has a Force of Will. Mox. Okay, there it is. But just a little bit too far behind here. Yeah, it's got to be Spirit of the Labyrinth here. Give us some Ragavan protection here. Probably doesn't get through a Force of Will, but if it does, we have some hope. It does resolve. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Saga, okay. There's the Tinker now. Lightning Bolt. Okay, yep. Can't stop that. Here we go. Get a Sphinx. Or a Blightsteel. No. Okay, they've played their land, which is the good news for us. Breach. What does Breach do? They get a Mox Jet. Okay. Oh no, top. Okay, so we're hitting the combo side here. We're not able to interact on the draw in this particular game. I think it's reasonable to F6 here. Funny enough, I have not seen any Bazaar or Workshops in this particular league. I would be curious to know how this deck works out against those. Empiric Tutor, yeah, that's Black Lotus, right? And then we just die. If they get a Lotus, we're dead. Yep. All right, we can move on to the next game. You know, I think we have a reasonable matchup against these type of decks, like the Breach Tinker decks. I actually think we want Kataki's War Wage, and I can also see Stony Silence here as well. Don't want the Stoneforge Mystic package. I think it's a little bit too slow. I like Jailer. I probably can cut a number of seasoned guys there. Let's try something like this, right? Like we just have a lot of hateful cards against what they're doing. The Solitudes aren't great, I acknowledge that, but if they do try to go the creature route like Blightsteel, it is an out for us. And it is hard castable in our deck, despite it's difficult to do so. All right, here we go, guys. Let's see if we can get one. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good, right? Now, they might not like this Lotus. They might not want it to resolve. They have to realize this is the bait. Now, of course, I have to sequence it this way. And those are very strong plays from us if this works. And it did. I'm not sure how my opponent's going to get out of this. I guess they have removal. Yep. Getting all brash here like my... Ooh, that was a nice draw, guys. Very nice draw. I'm going to attempt to cast Thalia because I think Thalia is quite good in this position. I think if Thalia resolves, we're off to the races here. They did not have a Force of Will last turn, and hopefully they don't this turn. And, you know, as long as they don't have a basic in their hand, I think we're okay. They still can't Tinker. I guess if they had a Lotus. No, they can't. Yeah, no. Okay, so that comes into play tapped. Yeah. We'll just wasteland that one. I hope they're cantripping here. Pithing Needle. Okay, they did hit wasteland with all likelihood here, which is probably a very smart play. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine another target here. Yep, smart. Got a pretty good clock going here. Thalia is not really what we're looking for. Like if they try and tinker into a creature here, like Citadel just doesn't do anything. But we can get them with Containment Priest 100% because of the presence of Archon. They can't counter it. Unless they have removal, and then we're in bad shape. Let's see. I mean, this is kind of the turn. The needle was decent there. Felt like Thalia was the higher prevalence play last turn versus wastelanding them, but it's not going to be easy for my opponent to get through, regardless of what creature they take. Here we go. Got a non-basic. Yes, nice. My opponent probably forgot about that feature. That's why I was going to go after it, because I was fearful that they were going to put a basic into play and be able to do their stuff. But my opponent likely didn't realize that. They can't draw a card here. They can just scry. So this is game. We have lethal on the table now. Just as it is, I don't even need to flash it and show them the priest. Yep. 2 top. 4/7, right? They can't do anything here. I guess I'm going to flash it in just in case. I don't really care that much. My opponent knows about it. Actually, I 100% didn't need to do that, but that's okay. Because they're underneath Thalia here, it's deterministic for sure. All right, now it gets tough. We are on the draw, and this is going to be a lot harder this time, but our opponent has to be petrified about what we're doing. I don't really think we need to change anything here. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that. Jailer's like a pretty solid card draw for us. Okay, so this hand does not have a turn 1 play in it. Therefore, it makes it really awkward. I think I'm going to mulligan this. Much better. Like Solitude is probably fine. It's a bit of a greedy line, because if they tinker into a Blightsteel right now, I'm gonna feel really bad about myself. But I don't think it's a high prevalence play from them, and hopefully we can find our way into to the Containment Priest before that becomes a problem. Like turn 1 Spirit of the Labyrinth is solid here for us. And if we find a land, a plains, we're even better shape. And we did. So I'm going to play my plains. Actually, I should have played a different color Mox there. I can't really play around Mindbreak Trap here, but I think that's okay. I'm just going to play the Spirit. I think it's very reasonable that they have removal here, but... Okay. I think it was a good mulligan, for sure. Okay, they might have removal here. Are they just looking for their top, actually? So this is not necessarily indicative of removal. No, it is removal. Okay. Yep. You got it. So once again, if my opponent goes for a tinker here, a quick tinker, preordain, okay. We do have the Containment Priest on our side. And in the worst, we've got the Plume Adventurer next turn. One top, one bottom. Okay. Ancestral was really unfortunate here. I think I'm going to just flash my guy in here now before they can get Force of Will online. I like the idea of pressuring my opponent and making them react to my my priest. But the Ancestral is really unfortunate here. Feel like we're losing this one pretty bad, but like, you know, had we kept our Spirit around, think about they wouldn't have been able to do anything this turn. But a lot of the damage has already been done. And I mean, like, them going into a tinker here. Oh, they just have removal from my priest. Okay. Well, I guess that's unfortunate. They're down to 3 cards here. A lot of nasty cards off the... So what I can do is I can actually plume here. And then I can go get a land if it resolves and cast a Stony Silence, which is very strong. Now, this obviously could be a Force of Will target for my opponent, which is unfortunate, but it did resolve, so we're really lucky here. I guess the question is, does my opponent actually have a Force of Will? If they don't, I feel like we're ahead here. All right, your move. It's in. Amazing, guys. Okay. I guess this is a tinker. Tinker is bad for me. Brainstorm. Okay. Happy to see that. Love a wasteland here. I think I have to go this route. I think I just have to get the forge going here, plus the trap, and try and win this way. Like the scry is appealing to me, but like there's a lot of damage coming through. Ragavan protection. The Krakus was a pretty bad draw, I have to admit, but Like shutting off their artifacts here is really big game for me. It makes it pretty hard on them to win. I mean, the breach combo is not nearly as viable. Yeah, pithing needle. Okay, that's good. Shutting off wasteland is a thing. I feel like they still have to hit wasteland. Like if they lock themselves here, it's 100% wasteland. Yeah, and it looks like they have brainstorm locked themselves, guys. Okay, the trap continues to do work for me. This is going to put them to 4 this turn. Any creature's great. Well, maybe not that one, but it is what it is. Okay. Well, when I loaded this deck up today, I did not anticipate to get a 5-0 with it. It's been very good for me. We've beaten a lot of the big contenders today that we're going to see in the challenge. How this would um, work in that atmosphere, I'm not 100% sure, but this is it. My opponent needs to figure it out right here. And this guy cannot be lightning bolted. He can, but it doesn't kill him. All right, guys, there you have it. A clean 5-0, and that's the first time I've seen 11 chests in a very long time, as they've fixed the prize payout for Vintage, which was changed due to the amount of win trading that was going on. That said, guys, let's just quickly deliberate about this deck. It was really sweet. I had a lot of fun there. We beat Doomsday twice. I think we beat Tinker PO or Tinker Breach twice, and what was the other one? We beat the Luris Jeskai Breach deck. So these are all big players, and yeah, like White Plume Adventure was amazing, and Seasoned Dungeoneer was really cool. I felt like the deck was performed really well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Feel free to leave any comments. We're going to see you next time.